Now, as men, there is a lot of pressure to be the best at pretty much everything that we do, and this pressure comes from a lot of places, and it can often lead to us as men feeling that we are not quite good enough, that we are not able to hold ourselves up to the standard that we have created for ourselves. As a teenager in school, for example, there was a lot of pressure on me to be smart and also to be good at sports and also to be good at socializing and also to be dating a lot, mainly girls. And there was this underlying idea that you have got to be the best, and that really fed into a lot of my issues with self-esteem for a great part of my life. This underlying idea that if I'm not striving towards being the top of everything, top of my class, top in sports, top of the social group, going out with a bunch of different girls, then, what was the point of everything? And this kind of pressure doesn't just end when you leave school, it persists through life. This is something that I'm starting to engage with a lot now, reading a lot of books on how these kinds of things affect men. And I started to think about what we could do and what concept I could share that might help you to start to escape this idea that you have got to be the best, that, is probably not helping you. And what I came up with was a very, very simple guide on how to become your MVP. Now, we think of MVP and most people are going to understand that that means most valuable player, the sports. But someone who is, the one that holds the team together, the playmaker, is the MVP, the most valuable player. Some of you who are more economic and business minded might know that MVP means minimum viable product, but I want to present to you an alternative to the acronym MVP, and that is that instead of focusing on trying to become the best at everything, that instead you focus on how to become your minimum viable person. Now, what exactly is your minimum viable person? So we all have goals, we all have ideas of what we want to do and be in our lives. What kind of job we want to have, how much money we want to have, what kind of person we want to end up spending the rest of our life with, or people in some people's cases, what kind of car that you want to drive, what kind of experiences you want to have, where you want to live, where you want to travel, and so on and so forth. But the problem with looking to that future is that where you are right now just does not measure up most of the time. And I'm guessing that if you're watching this video, that's the experience for you as well. So for me, for example, if you look kind of back here, I've got my vision board with what I want for my life on there, and in picture form, it is everything that I want to be and have in my life within the next 5 to 10 years. And so what happens is that you start to become tempted to compare who you are right now with this lofty ideal picture of yourself in the future, and that can make you feel pretty bad if you don't have the right mindset about it. I know that for the longest time, my very ambitious goals made me feel pretty bad about the kind of person that I was right now, because I just didn't measure up to the person that I wanted to be. And so coming back to this idea of becoming your minimum viable person, it is all about finding in yourself the ability to accept where you are right now, or to accept where you might be in a couple weeks time or a couple months time if you were to work on yourself in a targeted and specific way. So in business, for example, let's say that you are starting a new business and you're trying to go out there and get investors. Probably what you're going to take to show them is your minimum viable product. You're going to show them right, this is what we've got. Obviously, it's not perfect. We're going to make it better, but it works as it is right now, and it is only going to get better from here. So maybe that is an app, or it's a bit of technology, or whatever it is. It is proof of concept that says, if you work with me or if you invest in this business, You know, this is how good it is now. Imagine how good it's going to be in 5 to 10 years time. And what I want you to do is think about yourself in those same terms. So have an idea of what your minimum viable person is, and then ask you, as you are right now, to invest in yourself to improve on that in the way that you want to improve. So let's shrink this down to one goal in particular. Health and fitness is something that matters to a lot of guys, so let's go with that. You want to become, you know, say you want to become a bodybuilder, and right now you're a smaller guy. Let's say you're a guy about my size. So at the moment, even though it might not look it, I am about 245 pounds, so 110, 111 kilos. I don't know how much that is in stones, because stones is a stupid way to measure things, but that's where I am, about 6 foot tall, and I'm 245 pounds. If I wanted to get to a point where I was the same weight, but, you know, actually muscular, then probably what I would do is I would first of all focus on losing a bunch of the excess body fat that I have. So maybe dropping down to 180 pounds and losing that weight, I would probably consider to be my minimum viable person, you know, in that situation with that goal. So I would work on, over the next few months, losing as much of that fat as possible until I went down from 245 to 180, 190, whatever it is, that would get me down to about 12% body fat. And it is from that point that I would continue to work on getting to that goal of putting on more muscle and getting bigger and stronger. Probably that's not the perfect way to go about it, but I'm not a fitness professional, so who cares? The analogy works. I want you to start thinking about yourself and your self-improvement as you being your minimum viable person, and then investing in yourself in the right way, in the ways that is going to help you to achieve what you want to achieve in life. I've said it time and time and time again on this channel, but you cannot possibly move forward if you don't accept where you are right now. If you've ever been lost, then you probably know how difficult it is to find your way to where you want to go, because you don't know where you are. So you've either got to stop someone and ask, right, where am I? How do I get to X, Y, and Z? Or go on your phone and find out, or find a landmark and work out where you're going from there. And this idea of becoming your minimum viable person is the process of self-acceptance that lets you know, right, this is where I am right now. I'm going to have to be okay with that, and then invest in myself in a way that is going to help me to achieve the goal that I want to achieve. So if you want to become the MVP, the most valuable player, the first thing that you have to do is become the MVP, which is your minimum viable person. And from there you can build and invest in yourself and create the life that you want. So I hope that this concept makes sense to you. This is something that I have made up basically, but it is a principle that I'm hoping you're going to be able to apply to your life in a way that is useful to you. It is basically repackaged self-acceptance in a sports metaphor. So, you know, it's obviously much more manly now. I hope you have found the video useful. Let me know what your thoughts and questions are in the comment section down below. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, because I'm putting out a video every single day at this point. The videos are all about confidence and life advice for the average Joe, so if that's what you're into, subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and that's all I've got for you today. Thank you very much for making it all the way to the end, and I wish you the best of luck on your journey of self-confidence.